Welcome to Leaders and Managers Hub, the podcast. Incredible. This is our project management series, and today we're going to give a brief introduction to project management and tell you how you can get involved in the main cast. So what do we mean when we talk about a project? What is a project? For the purposes of this cast, we have used 4 specific definitions to define a project. Firstly, a project must be a change to the business as usual, sometimes referred to as the BAU. What we mean by that is that it must not be a normal part of the business operations. So for example, if you have an organization which manufactures machine parts, if they want to build a new workshop to service the business, then that is a change to the business as usual, and that is the definition of a project. Secondly, a project must have very defined outcomes. It must be very clear what the objectives of the project are. In this scenario, it is to deliver a workshop that can meet the business needs. The third definition is that it must be time limited. A project cannot be open-ended. It must have a clear start and end date. And lastly, it must have a clear and defined budget. So generally, there are 2 types of project lifecycle. There's the agile project lifecycle, often used for research and development projects and IT projects, where there's a continuous assessment of whether that the project has met the objectives. The second type is the waterfall model, sometimes referred to as the cascade. This is a more generally used model for projects and creates a very linear path from start to completion. In our first cast, we'd like to unpack these 2 model life cycles a little bit more and talk a little bit about the practical application of both models. And this is where you can get involved. We want to hear from project management professionals who've got experience of both agile and waterfall project life cycles. We want you to come on the podcast and give some context to these models. So if you've got experience of one or other of the models, or even better still, if you've got experience of both, when we can actually compare and contrast, you can get in touch. podcast@leadersandmanagershub.com. It'll take about an hour of your time, and we guarantee it'll be one of the most fulfilling things you will do. If you're interested in picking up the notes associated with this particular cast, you can find them at the campionconsultants.uk website. We're looking forward to hearing from all you project managers out there.